And we're taking you back out live now to the Cave Fire tonight. That fire is now 10% contained after burning more than 4,300 acres. You can hear those chainsaws in the distance, and those are those hand crews that we've learned have become essential in this firefight because the dozers just can't get through this rocky terrain.
What an eerie sight. This little bit of smoke rising up and all the damage that is done so quickly. The Cave Fire left many evacuees with no option but to take their animals to a nearby shelter.
KSBY News reporter Alice Becerra spoke with Santa Barbara County Animal Services. She joins us now live with more. Alice?
Karina, Animal Service tells me their team is ready to continue working overnight over the next few days in order to keep up with the number of calls coming in.
We tend to have a really responsible community here in Santa Barbara, and most people are disaster ready.
Just a few hours after the Cave Fire broke out, calls started pouring in at the Santa Barbara County Animal Services. A day later, the shelter says it is housing 177 animals between Animal Services and the Santa Barbara Humane Society, with another 170 large animals being sheltered at the Earl Warren grounds in Santa Barbara. Animal Service officials say they will continue to do their best to provide shelter for the animals whose owners have been evacuated, but also look to the community for support.
We are looking for anyone who's interested in fostering a dog or a cat can take the animal into their home for a couple days.
Donald Stevens, the supervisor for the shelter, says keeping basic necessities for your animals on standby is the best way to avoid any dangerous situations.
Typically a carrier, if it's a cat, dog, or anything like that, if you have livestock, larger animals, the ability to load and transport. Also, it's in step of having set up for food. So you want to always make sure you have the ability to have food for at least a week or so.
Stephen says another important tip is to make sure you always have the medical records for your animals at hand in case of an emergency. Animal Service also tells me they've been really impressed with the community and how they've responded in terms of knowing what to do with your animals in situations like these. Live in Santa Barbara, I'm Alice Becerra, KSBY News.
All right, Alice, thank you. And if you need shelter for your animals, you can contact Santa Barbara Animal Services hotline. That number is 805-681-4332.